All right, folks, I am super pumped for this next part. We are starting to talk about functions. Remember, you cannot have functions without fun, folks. Functions are different commands that will automatically calculate data in the spreadsheet based on whatever the function is. I know that's a really confusing definition, but there are so many different functions and they can do so many different things that really it's just a matter of learning some of the different functions. So I'm going to teach you one, and then later on in our spreadsheet series, there will be more information about functions. You'll notice the helpful functions tab down here, so that's what's coming up in the next lesson. Right now, let's talk about the one function that we do have. The function that we're using is called the Countif function. So you'll notice right down here it says 0. What that's showing is actually the outcome of the function. So right now the function you can see up here. So notice when I click on a cell, right, this one, it's 2, and there's a 2 there, and 3, and there's a 3 there. But if I click on this one, there's a 0 there, but it shows what's actually calculating that 0. This is the function. This is the Countif function. So what it's going to do is it's going to look at A1 to J10, and if there is an X, it's going to count it. So it's going to assign a value of 1 to every X. So let me demonstrate. If you watch down here, every time I put in an X, you're going to see that counter go up 1. Okay? I've also set it for O's, so I can put in my O's and it'll count the O's as well. This is kind of just a virtual scoreboard. If you wanted, you could put conditional formatting on it, so once it gets to a certain number of hits, it starts to turn yellow and then red or whatever to kind of signify that you're getting close to winning. So you are going to make a function. Here we go. So let's go to the enemy fleet tab, and we're going to type in the word miss. And miss is going to be represented with an X, and hit is going to be represented with an O. Now you don't have to put the X and O here. This is just to keep it straight when you're keeping score. And now we're going to do the function. Now all functions start with the equal button. So if I type in equal, I'm immediately sending a message to the spreadsheet that I'm going to start writing a function. I'm going to start typing in Countif, and you see as I start typing, it brings up a whole list of all the different functions that start with COU. There's a lot of count features. So I'm going to go to Countif, click on it, and then it gives you a sample so you can kind of get an idea of how to set it up. The first thing that pretty much any function is always going to ask for is the range. So that is what cells do you want me to look at, basically. So I want you to look at, and if you look at, you'll notice I can just click and drag over here and it'll automatically enter the information. I want to count A1 through J10, and then I'm going to press a comma. So now I'm separating the two pieces of data. The first one was the range, and now it's the criterion. So in other words, what is it that it's looking for? So it's looking for X. Now if I just put in X, that's not going to do anything. It's going to start to bring up a list of other functions. We have to specifically let it know that we're looking for text, the text of X. So we do that by putting in quotation marks, X, and then we press the return key, and our function is ready to go. So now it'll count all the X's and assign a value of 1 for each one. All right, you're going to go ahead and you are going to write the function, the same function, the Countif function, using O instead of using X. At this point, I have trained you on everything you need to know to make your own spreadsheet, or your own enemy fleet tab, I should say. So it's up to you to finish all the formatting. Thanks for coming on this awesome journey with me, and I hope that this has helped you to understand how to use spreadsheets a little better.